So our top running back waiver wire ads for week 7. Who do you have as one of your top running backs? I'll throw it to you. Unless you want me to go.
We're talking about Tyrone Tracy, man. I mean, right off the bat,
There you go.
the guy's balling out. He had an opportunity with Devin Singletary going down. He's putting up some decent numbers over there for, again, going for the Giants here. I guess they're having a resurgence over there. Something's going on. 70 to 10, 50 yards, 11-yard long for 1 touchdown. Yeah, he did get some receiving work, so received 6 receiving targets, 6 catches, 57 yards as well in the air. Ends up with 16.7 fantasy points on the day on standard scoring. I guess I could put it on half for full PPR here. On that is 22.7 full PPR. So yeah, I guess that's the top one I'd like to mention.
There you go. I'm going to go with a guy who had a big day. Thank goodness his counterpart also had a big day, or else we'd be freaking out. And this was Tyler Algier. After I was just talking about last week how he's never had more than 10 carries in a game. They do go up against Carolina, who has one of the worst rushing defenses in the league this year. He does get 18 carries for 105 yards and a touchdown. Had 1 catch for 3 yards on 1 target. But, Tyler Algier has a big game. And that was, again, with Bijan still having, a big game himself. So, Bijan ends up going 15 carries. He had less carries, had 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, and had 3 catches on 4 targets, only 10 yards. But again, we'd like to see those 2 touchdowns at least for him before, Tyler Algier got his. Did play his least amount of snaps here this week at 56%. Bijan did. But again, when you're going up against, Carolina, he still outsnapped Algier to 41%. Algier, they're only 40% owned. So, I mean, as you see here, if anything were to happen to Bijan, like, Algier should be way more owned than 40%. I know it's tough right now going through bye weeks, which is why his ownership percentage is like this. But, if he's going to get, this type of work, it's Seattle, Tampa Bay, and then Dallas in the next 3 games. You never know. So he's definitely someone I'm looking to roster if you have a spot to stash someone. Who else you got at running back?
I'd like to mention Ray Davis, who was like late start. They said Cook is out. He gets the start. He got 20 attempts for 97 yards, almost 100. No touchdowns. Did get some receiving, 3 for 3 for 55 yards. Ends up getting you 15.2. Obviously on a high-powered offense. Very low ownage because he's mostly a handcuff to Cook. He's been like that. But unfortunately, since it was a Monday night game, I don't think too many people were like waiting to start him or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like the late game to do it on. It was, but if Cook is out next week, I would definitely be starting this guy. 10% on Yahoo, 8% ESPN. What do we got? 19% on Sleeper. So very widely available on a good high power offense. Give that man a shot.
Yeah, especially, like you said, if Cook's going to miss any extended time here dealing with that foot and toe injury, which is usually a turf toe, could take a couple weeks. It sounded like maybe he was close this week, but who knows? Maybe a little gamesmanship going on because he was ruled out pretty quick this morning. It wasn't like, game time decision, and he just, couldn't go. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, but it's a tough go if you have to wait till Monday to find out if you have the backup at that point, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. But next week it'll make it easier. So they play a Sunday game, you get spot to start them already.
Right. Another guy I want to mention here might have kind of actually, I think we were talking about it kind of pre-show. His ownership actually dropped from 36% on Sleeper to 35% now, most likely because they are coming off their bye week. So there might be a chance that, he got dropped here heading into the bye. Don't forget, Aaron Jones got hurt. So that's going to be Ty Chandler. So you got Aaron Jones dealing with that hip injury. They said he avoided anything long-term, but it didn't say it wasn't, like he was going to be in jeopardy. of potentially missing the game. So we'll see when it comes to Wednesday when they opened up and come back from the bye week here on Wednesday. But definitely someone, to maybe, throw some fab on just in case they do get Detroit, missing now Hutchinson. And I think they lost another person on the defense as well, in addition to Hutchinson, but, that kind of overshadowed it. So again, with Aaron Jones potentially being hurt in this high-powered offense, the last of the undefeated teams here, Ty Chandler could be a nice piece heading into Week 7 with guys like DeAndre Swift. And I mean, I guess Dowdle, not too many people, big-time names really missing here on bye weeks, but of course, with all the other injuries at the running back position, it could be a nice start plug-and-play type guy here this week. Again, only 36% owned on Sleeper. Or it was 35, he's 36 now. So maybe some of those leagues that have open waivers, people are starting to creep up on him. So there we go. Anyone else you want to mention here on the running backs to add here for Week 7?
Well, we'll go with your team. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't bring up Isaac Arendo.
I'm kind of going by, roster sit percentage. So we'll see.
Which is kind of rough on that one because who else is over there? I forgot.
Patrick Taylor.
That was getting some licks. No, besides Isaac, there was
that's why I said Patrick Taylor.
No, it was another guy, not Patrick Taylor.
It was Isaac Arendo, Patrick Taylor, were the two running backs there.
Huh. Okay, I thought it was somebody else.
And Mason, but yeah, I mean, there's no one really else.
But yeah, I mean, literally nobody owns this guy. 4% Yahoo, 1% ESPN. That's who I was thinking. Kyle Juszczyk.
Oh, he's the fullback.
He's the fullback.
He's,
but I mean, he still gets touchdowns. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He gave it to his wife.
That's what I was thinking. Because they use him as a running back, fullback, running back, or whatever.
More like a receiver.
Anyways, 5% on Sleeper. He did have a decent game. He had a long one called back on him or whatever. I remember it. Didn't that happen? He had like a long, or he did get one long run in.
No, he iced it. Yeah, his big run iced the game.
It was like a 50, long as 76. That's
76-yard run. Yeah.
10 attempts, 99 yards. 76 is the.
He could have scored, but he went down.
Yeah. So we've always been picking up those running backs. I'm not sure how long Mason's going to be out. Right, we don't really know.
Or if he's out,
it's like day to day right now. We'll see
so just again, Mason, I mentioned it in the beginning. He was in a red non-contact jersey, but was out there. So we'll see what happened. He obviously went back in, left out. They just said they didn't know how serious it was, and Shanahan didn't want to, take a chance. Obviously, already being down McCaffrey. But yeah, so definitely Garindo. He looked good. You like to see that type of burst with his speed. So we'll take it.
Might as well handcuff him now, because if Mason does go down, you got him on board.
There you go.
Start.
And the guy he kind of split with was actually Patrick Taylor. They both played 25% of the snaps. Garindo played 26. Taylor played 25. Taylor also had one catch for 12 yards in the passing game. Had five runs for 16 yards, 3.2 yard average. So he wasn't bad himself. 6'2", 217, a bigger back. So who knows how those guys might kind of split. Might be a 1-2 combo should Mason be out. I don't think Shanahan will put the whole workload on either one of them. So it'll most likely be a split like we saw. We have other weapons. There's also Debo, and he's really the running back too.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he'll be more the running back, and then which would be good for Ayuk owners as well too. So anyway, enough about the Niners. I'll sit there and talk all day on it. I can't believe we made it this far into running back waiver wire ads, and we didn't mention the actual RB1 overall this week. You know who that is? Without looking,
the RB1 overall this week.
No. Yeah, do you know who scored the most fantasy points at the running back position this week?
I'll look it up, though.
I give you a million guesses. You never guess. Sean
Tucker?
There it is.
I'll look it up, though.
0% owned. Yeah, 0% owned. Comes out, plays only 38% of the snaps. Obviously, Rashad White's out. Bucky Irving has a big game. And he goes 14 for 136, 9.71 yard average, broke some big runs, scored the touchdown, 3 catches for 56 yards and another touchdown in the air. Kind of looked really, really good, actually. So this was a name in dynasty, circles that we've been talking about, for the last couple of years, or not couple of years, but, as of last year, thought he might be the one to come in and actually take over. But Rashad White played really well. And then, they end up drafting Bucky Irving. So we all thought, maybe Tucker's, on the fringe, maybe not even make the team. But he kind of showed why he was taken there. A lot of people I know, like Rez, our boy from the Frontline podcast, he actually had Sean Tucker, I believe, as his RB1 that year when those guys came out. So he really liked what he saw. It's only 1% rostered right now. He was 0% earlier. But if Rachaad White is going to miss any extended time, it looks like they might have a split, with Bucky and Sean Tucker after what he did. I don't know. It might be hard to put the genie in the box, and this also might mean Rachaad White might almost be out of a job either, because 136, and he could get it done in the air too, 3 for 3 for 56. Rachaad White, man, you better get back on the field if you want to hold your job. So Sean Tucker, definitely
Sounds
someone.
like he's already been
If you have a
replaced,
spot
man.
to stash, yeah, there you go. I do have a couple more, man. A lot of running back stashes out there, I think, here this week. Anybody else you want to mention, or you want to get in the last two that I have?
Go ahead.
So just real quickly, Kamani Vidal, he's 16% owned here on Sleeper. He had obviously filling in for Gus Edwards, who looks like he might be going on the IR. He only played 24% of the snaps, 4 carries for 11 yards. Did have 2 catches for 40 yards in the passing game and scored a touchdown there. So just someone to kind of keep an eye on if Gus Edwards is going to miss an extended time. And if anything were to happen to J.K. Dobbins now, Kamani Vidal looks like he's the handcuff to own for J.K. Dobbins. So just, again, keep an eye on him, someone to stash, again, with Gus headed towards IR. So again, not someone you're looking to, put in your lineups this week. This would be for, you 5-0, or 6-0, 5-1, 4-2 type teams, to kind of stash somebody, if you can. And the other guy, he played tonight, didn't do much here tonight, which was, music to the Brees Hall owners' ears. But Braden Allen still sitting in there at 57% rostered. Definitely somebody who should be owned if you have a spot to stash. He's kind of like my honorable mention. So that's all I got.